Set it to music. Park Rangers. Already signs that Wolves may well have unearthed a new star in the form of 17-year-old Dubliner Robbie Keane, who scored 2 goals to beat Norwich during his first team debut on Saturday. Our commentary team in West London tonight, Ron Atkinson with Peter Brackley.
The biggest cheer during Saturday's game here with Ipswich came in the second half when Trevor Sinclair ran on for his first league outing since March. And tonight, with his knee injury now fully repaired, he's in from the start. Sinclair's return is the good news for Rangers manager Stuart Houston. Far less encouraging is the loss of defender Danny Maddox, who's now joined the likes of David Bardsley, Steve Yates, Carl Reddy and of course Mike Sheeran on the injury list. But Kevin Gallen's recovery continues after almost a year out with a damaged knee. He plays up front alongside John Spencer. Deliver or face the consequences seems to be the message for Wolves manager Mark McGee this season. He's had to prune his staff before bringing fresh players in. Tonight there are places again for new signings, Steve Sedgley and Darius Kupitsky. And McGee believes he's unearthed a real gem in 17-year-old Robbie Keane. Like his namesake Roy, the young Irishman balances skill with aggression, and he opened his league career with both goals in Saturday's win at Norwich. It's a warm, humid evening in London as Queen's Park Rangers get us underway. Attacking the goal to our left, two teams who are certainly among the fancied sides in the First Division this season.
You're obviously going to expect a very good game. You'd expect an attacking game where the lineups are both sides. Both sides are full of midfield players. The first option is, or the first thought is to run forward.
A defensive role for him tonight, Steve Sedgley. He can, of course, operate in midfield, as he did many times for Ipswich. Here's Keane. Now Peacock breaking for Rangers. Murray, he has Trevor in support. Peacock once he played ahead of him. Here's Peacock now. Good strike! Oh, here's Steve Froggatt. Blistering shot, which Lee Harper couldn't hold. Wolves in front. Tremendous strike then by Steve Froggatt. Well, he's a player whose career has been held up by injuries, but when he's on song, he's such a talent.
Well, he's picked up the loose ball there, hasn't he? It's run free. He's hit, he's given it a full blast. He's got as good a left foot as you'll see. I think the goalie might have felt he should have got a better touch on that. Good shot. I think Stuart Houston will have question marks about his young goalkeeper there.
13 minutes gone. Wolves take the lead through Steve Froggatt.
Just wondering, I mean, Froggatt's playing in a different position than I've ever seen him play before. He's playing a sort of old-fashioned left-side midfield, if you like.
There's a chance for Spencer. Maybe caught in two minds there. Wasn't really a strike for goal. And not an effective enough pass either for Peacock. So once again, Wolves underlining their willingness to play away from home. But should the keeper have kept this up?
Yes. I mean, it's a great strike. Picked up, pounced. A sweet left foot, but the goalkeeper should have saved it.
Smith linking up with Goodman. He hasn't got too much support. He may not need it. Don Goodman going for goal. Quick stop by Harper. In goes Keane. And very nearly forced his way through, claiming a handball there.
Two great moments, weren't they? First the Don Goodman surge, the big shot that was battled out, and then there we saw Q.P.R. have watched Goodman. He picks up the pace here. He really opens his legs and surges. Does the defender Rose, smashes it. Great save from the goalkeeper Harper, and then made it the other end. Okay, they're claiming for a handball. Would have been a very, very hard decision if he'd have got a handball on that.
I don't think it was.
No, it hit him on the chest, so it would have been extra hard.
Steve Sedgley. I think he's a good signing, Ron Sedgley.
Yeah, well, his experience, he's got know-how. He's played with some very, very good players in his time. And sometimes that little bit of experience, that little bit of know-how, can pay dividends at any level, but I think particularly at this level.
The kick taken very quickly. Here's Don Goodman, who ghosted into space there.
Successful. Away from home is the very fact that both their strikers like to have space behind defenders to run in.
This is Slade now. Swapping passes with Sinclair, nearly forced apart the goal. The danger hasn't passed yet. That's Murray! Very close, football Murray. And a bright opening to the second half from Rangers.
Yeah, this one he just seems to cut across as the ball set into him. Just clipped the outside of the post by the look of that.
Yes, it just shaved the upright. Paul Murray. Slade who played him in, and that's how near it was.
That's good too. That's what we think. That's what we expect of Gavin Peacock. That little turn and getting in the box, making things happen.
Now to Patalainen. He's going to come on in place of Robbie Keane. Young man getting a pat on the back there from Mark McGee. Patalainen, the Finnish international, signed from Bolton. Last week he had flu at the weekend, so he didn't feature in the game at Norwich. Cost around £200,000. Keane, I think he's going to be worth a bit more than that in the years to come.
What it does do, of course, now it means they've got 3 central strikers on the field.
Morrow. Spencer's header to Peacock, his former Chelsea teammate. Now it's Simon Barker. Barker again after some good play by Rose. Spencer. That's a spectacle. Steve Ball going through now. And very nearly stewing in a second for Wolves.
Well, that's a dolly for Bully, you know. Patalainen has managed to force the ball back in from the throw, and it's a deflection to start with. A miss hit, but that's an absolute sitter. His favourite position outside of his right foot, and he really hasn't even made the keeper work.
Yeah, Rose lost his concentration there. Bit of activity down on the bench for Rangers. Mark Kubicki. Harper came for it, didn't connect. Patalainen heading over the bar. Caught by Harper. That could have been embarrassing for the keeper.
Yeah, he's at times he looks shaky. He's made 1 or 2 good stops, but that's a good ball in from Kubicki. Patalainen's a handful going in, but the keeper's, once he comes, he has to claim those.
You're coming out, you have to be sure. Racing through. That might have clinched a victory for Wolves tonight if he'd put that one in.
You also got the impression there that Stephen Morrow was going to pull him down here. Good strong header. Patalainen puts him ahead. He's tugging away, he's running the risk of the booking, of sending off, but probably just does enough to put Bully off from target.
Spall. 2 against 2. Patalainen. Faced by Morrow. That's a super goal from Mixu Patalainen. The new man from Bolton has struck in venomous fashion to make it 2-0 to Wolves.
Well, that's a big finish in the game. Morrow's got a right problem here. He's left because of their all-out attacking policy, 1 against 2, and that is a fine strike. That is a brilliant strike, that.
Goodman waiting for this as a right back now. Brazier. delivering the ball straight onto the head of Steve Sedgley. It's a fine win for Wolves by 2-0. Steve Froggatt in the first half, and then substitute Mixu Katalainen late on with the second. Plenty for the Wolves fans to enthuse over. It was a composed and committed display. Certainly the better team in the first half. Rangers came back in the second but couldn't find a way through, and have now a very difficult task awaiting them in the second leg at Molineux. Final score tonight, Queen's Park Rangers.
Oxford's 2 goals in this one, both a little lucky. Plymouth will think they were short-changed in the end. It was 1-0 at half-time. The second for Oxford came 12 minutes from full-time. An own goal from Richard Logan. It really wasn't Plymouth's night. But Oxford, well, they're not complaining. At Port Vale, they must feel a bit like a lot of parents at this stage of the school holidays. They've had enough already. Lee Mills put them ahead against York midway through the first half, but just a couple of minutes later, it was back to 1-1. Gary Bull with the equaliser for York. He didn't get many chances at Forest, but this one was a cinch. And then in the final minute, York pinched a winner. Steve Bushell hid his light behind the referee, beat the offside trap and finished the job off. For Port Vale, it was enough to make you want to go back to the classroom and start all over again. Stoke were at Rochdale, never one of football's more glamorous outposts, and Graham Kavanagh with the first, making sure the spotlight at Spotland stayed firmly on Stoke. Rochdale did manage to pull it back to 1-1 before the turn. Robbie Painter with the equaliser, but on a hot, steamy night, Stoke through the second half gave Rochdale the cold shoulder. 2 goals in 3 minutes midway through the second period, giving Stoke a comfortable cushion. Rochdale defence parted for Peter Thorne to make it 2-1, and then it was 3 as Richard Forsyth got the final touch in the box. Stoke shouldn't have too many problems in the return. Walsall had no problems at home to Exeter. Like a cork from a bottle of champagne, Roger Bolly popped up for the first, a sparkling header. The second, though, followed a right mess up in the Exeter defence. They were corked, really. They had plenty of chances to get it clear, failed abysmally, and Clive Platt punished with a flourish. Perhaps not a vintage show from Walsall, but certainly one with a decent enough finish.